So let's talk strategy. But before we get to the specifics and the details, I asked Colt, what inspired you?
As I interacted more and more with the people in the office of Ensemble, and I could see that they are very dedicated to their work, very committed, all amazing individuals, and yet they had no idea really the ultimate impact of their work, the purpose of their work.
So what he saw was the people at Ensemble had not connected their work, their back office tasks, to the actual life-saving work of healthcare, to the purpose of healthcare. So, in his first step, the first step in his strategy, he made sure that they realized how big and bold this challenge really was.
I think one of the big things was as you go through the current state of healthcare, and it hits you, you're like, wow, things really aren't excellent. And that's by comparison to other countries that are in a different state than we are. And to many people, it can be quite a shock to see where we're at, relatively speaking. And that impact was clearly readable on their faces. And then, when we communicate that we in this room, here, us, we have a path to shift this. The shifting of this is within our hands. We have the power to change it. That obviously had a big impact as well, and on their faces, clearly readable.
Well, they saw it. We're not as good as we want to be. But they also saw a path to change all that. Then, in step 2, Colt makes it tangible, ties it into specific outcomes that actually can save a life.
Where their work leads to strong financial performance for the health systems that they support, it means better imaging systems. That means more time that doctors can spend with patients. And ultimately, if a new imaging system means that they detect a disease state 3 weeks earlier than would otherwise have been possible, a life can be saved. So,
excellent back office can save a life. That's powerful if you're busy in the back, on the phone, trying to collect money from an insurance company or the government bureaucracy, or maybe you're going line by line through the coding to make sure everything's perfect, because if it's not perfect, they just kick it back to you. In step 3, Colt then works on the systemization of purpose.
I did put a bit of research into being able to illustrate to them, because we had to commit into this thing. And, it wasn't just the creation of the video, it was how do you move it out, and how do you really take this message and internalize it and then operationalize it so that we're measuring our success as an organization in terms of, are we impacting the health of patients through our work instead of just making it a platitude as we've talked about. We wanted this to speak to everyone who works in the back office of healthcare, because we knew that would give it greater visibility, broader reach, and more meaning to a bigger audience. Of course, but to see the impact that it had inside Ensemble, where people started to understand the meaning and significance of their work, would be hard to overstate, really. And that
hard to overstate the impact. Sounds to me like Colt is feeding his purpose at the same time that he's feeding their purpose too. Now in step 4, you'll hear his very smart strategy for getting buy-in across the board, not just from the early adopters, but from every part of the company.
The early adopters in the organization were on board immediately, but you have, kind of late adopters and institutionalists that you need to demonstrate on a concrete dollars and cents, black and white business level why this is going to make sense, what we expect in terms of return, how we're going to get there, and how much it's going to cost, etc. So
he spoke everyone's language, and we know that's key to getting trust and getting buy-in. And he also made sure that they knew that purpose was not only a grand idea, but something very, very practical, something that delivered dollars and cents. Then, in step 5, he followed through on the purpose, tracking all the ways it would pay off.
Massive things happen. You see benefits in your entire staff. You see benefits economically. You see benefits in terms of retention, in terms of longevity, commitment to work, willingness to advocate. So many things just go through the roof when you have a staff of people who are on board with purpose. So
make the business on the inside better and more productive. Then Colt connected their purpose as an assist in marketing, a way to help find new clients and more revenues. Rather than a pitch or promotion, purpose attracted the right customers.
And that, as Ensemble interacted with more and more health systems in the US, to let that be the foot that came first, the face that they presented to that audience was very powerful. Because these organizations, many of them faith-based, all of them mission-based, are here for healthcare. And to reflect that Ensemble is aligned at that level of purpose was integral in their ability to rapidly grow market share. What better place to start when building a business relationship than on the foundation of a purpose relationship? It was so easy for Ensemble as an organization to parlay, if you will, that foundation of relationship into how can we support you beyond bringing your voice into this conversation? How can we support you by bringing our talents and our tools and our people to your organization to support your mission? What a great way to introduce yourself as a business. For 2 years running, Ensemble captured 60% of all revenue cycle outsourcing contracts that were written in the United States. Years running, Ensemble captured 60% of all revenue cycle outsourcing contracts that were written in the United States.
And there is the big result, the huge result. Purpose isn't just a must simply because of the golden rule or making our moms proud or really any kind of a higher calling. Purpose is pure, strategic, and irresistible competitive advantage. Look at the result. 60% of all new contracts. That's what they were getting. And that's a Super Bowl number. And it's the kind of numbers that we've heard over the years. Double-digit growth, profit doubles, a magnet for attracting the best people. You get it all. You get it all. Tangible results when you have a purpose. So let's recap. First, step in the strategy. Colt made the obstacle huge, big and bold. We're not nearly as good as we want to be. And he gave them the numbers to back that up. Then, in step 2, he made it tangible, individual, taking a life story of a new piece of equipment and how it could add years of life. In step 3 of his strategy for purpose, he systematizes, operationalizes everything about purpose. Step 4 is all about buy-in, getting buy-in everywhere across the company, even amongst skeptics. In step 5, he tracks all the ways that it pays off so that they can celebrate the tremendous advantage that they've gained by investing in having a purpose. And then he connects it to the outside, connects it to ways to find new customers. This is an encompassing, incredible strategy and excellent work. Colt hits all the right notes. I hope you're as excited about it as I am. We'll talk to him some more. Thanks.